Establishing contact with the Red Ribbon Elites. Contact successful. Requesting team report. This is May reporting.
We've got eyes on our next target.
I wonder who it is this time.
The target is Hercule.
Leave this one to me.
Hercule has average health, ki, and stamina, with above average basic attack and slightly above average strike supers and ki blast supers. When customized, he has access to combo type A, technical type B, speed type C, and strike super type C, meaning across his choices he keeps above average stamina. He is the only character in the game who can guard to cancel out of almost all of his own combos and take another action instantly, making him the only character in the game who can extend almost the entirety of his combos without ever knocking an opponent back or requiring a boost dash to do so. His combos additionally include a period where he appears to bob and weave, which functions as actual invincibility and can therefore invalidate attacks coming his way, and he has one knockdown and hard knockdown each. He has the Stone Ki Blast, and his skills are simple on the surface but potent. His Rolling Hercule Punch is a one-hit strike skill that sees its user tuck into a roll that they can perform up to 3 times before uncurling and lunging with the punch. The user is invincible while rolling, and the punch itself has super armor on top of stunning the opponent for long enough that a heavy smash is possible. His Dynamite Kick is a 13-hit strike skill that sees its user assume a pose to charge before unleashing a barrage of close-range punches and kicks. If not sufficiently charged, the resulting kick will range from a very weak kick with a very brief stun to a slightly stronger kick that knocks the opponent back. Fully charged, however, the attack is capable of dealing damage that may rival ultimate attacks. His Present for You is a skill that sees its user pull a present box out of their pocket before presenting it to the opponent. Touching the box will cause it to open and heal or damage any ally or foe who touches it, including parallel quest allies, or it will open on its own if left unattended for a time. If the box has a circular pattern, it'll heal, and if it has a diamond pattern, it will deal damage. His Festival Present for You is a 2-hit strike skill that functions the same as its original variant, except it now comes out almost instantly, adds a stun when placing the present down, and only places diamond pattern boxes. His Miracle Kneel is a very weak one-hit evasive skill that sees its user drop down to their knees and make themselves as small as possible, evading attacks and staggering an opponent who was close enough. His The Savior Has Come is an ultimate skill that sees its user strike a triumphant pose, forcing all enemies to lock onto them. This is very useless in a player versus player setting, but very useful in a player versus environment setting. Its dual variant is also the only dual ultimate and skill in a game that will heal both participants without possibility of interruption. When customized, Hercule's skill choices are extremely limited, as he has the lowest customization potential in the game when it comes to skills. He shares almost no skills at all from any character, and is one of the only characters in the game with absolutely no generic offensive skills, with only Super Guard, Krillin's Rise to Action, and Taunt outside of his own skills. He shares Super Souls from Videl, her DBS variant, and one from Android 18. His own Super Souls are otherwise mostly centered around PvE. His I've Had Enough of You temporarily grants the user infinite ki whenever an ally is knocked out, and can be activated repeatedly. It has the Dynamite Kick Attack Up Limit Burst effect. His I'm Sorry is a Super Soul that restores a bar of stamina for each use of Miracle Kneel, and gains 3 bars of stamina on the first use only, effectively making the move usable for free and having it act as a 2-bar evasive skill afterward. It has the Auto Health and Stamina Recovery and Defense Down Limit Burst effect. His Not On My Watch is a Super Soul that temporarily boosts the strength of all its users' attacks by at least 25% and increases the damage taken from all attacks by the same amount whenever an ally is knocked out. It has the Auto Health and Stamina Recovery Limit Burst effect. His It Must Be Some Kind of Trick has a very rare chance to make its user invincible for 3 seconds whenever they are hit by a Ki Blast skill. It has the Auto Just Guard Limit Burst effect. His I Can Tell You're an Amateur by the Way You Pose temporarily reduces the strength of all the opponent's attacks and their ki restoration by 10% for 30 seconds once after locking onto them. It has the Attack Up Ki Auto Recovery Limit Burst effect. Overall, Hercule is a fundamental and, as of his festival update, set-up joke character who defies the laws of the game to the point that he can be almost uncontestable in a hand-to-hand fight. He can render himself invincible at a moment's notice or cancel out of almost any attack he performs to try them again or move out of harm's way, and he can therefore pressure an opponent from the moment he touches them anywhere on a stage. His stamina is consistently high no matter his customized stat as well, giving him a fair chance at dueling opponents. Rolling Hercule Punch offers an extended period of invincibility as well as being a near unstoppable attack that opens an opponent to combos or a heavy smash, punishing aggressive opponents, while his Dynamite Kick can strike with very high power given his access to Strike Super Type C, and his Super Soul's Limit Burst that boosts its power even further, making it a mighty finisher during stamina breaks. Present for You, if a diamond pattern drops, can lay around the stage and catch an opponent off guard. The festival version is just flat out ludicrous, as it tends to deal high damage and will force an opponent's momentum to a crawl unless they want to be punished for simple combat, and doubles as a trap he can lay across stages. His Miracle Kneel, while normally an expensive evasive skill, can be rendered cheaper to use via his Super Soul, as well as granting him what is more or less a free usage the first time he uses it, on top of still opening and attacking an opponent up to a combo. It Must Be Some Kind of Trick can spare him from match-ending damage on the rare occasion that it activates, and his access to DBS Vidal's Super Soul has a very strong synergy with him as his only offensive skills are Strike type, and Ki Restoration boosts help to give him the Ki he needs to use those potent skills. However, he is flawed fundamentally in several ways. The first is that he cannot vanish like the rest of the game's characters and therefore must rely solely on his evasive skill to avoid damage. This also means that after a knockback, he has no way to reach his opponent to finish a combo, having to boost dash or step and consume time he would have had otherwise. The second is that he absolutely must alternate or cancel his combo strings, as repeated light or repeated heavy strings will cause him to go into a very vulnerable animation of catching his breath that lasts for several seconds, and whose strings in question do not knock the opponent back. The third is that he cannot Ki Blast like other characters, throwing stones instead, an attack too slow to throw continuously, too weak to replicate the effect of any other Ki Blast damage or stun, and cannot be charged, making even his only means of a ranged attack nearly useless. The fourth is that he has no ultimate attack available that can deal damage to an opponent, and therefore must rely on basic attacks and his only 3 skills to do damage, making Hercule one of the most predictable characters in the game. The fifth is that he has no Super Soul or skill available that would let him actively recover Ki, so he is forced to stay in danger or attack if he wants to be able to recover it. This also means that he does not in any way benefit from stalling in battle, since he can't charge Ki to be able to spam his very strong skills. Despite the aforementioned flaws, it does not change the fact that he has constant access to his traits and does not require any prior setup such as a transformation to take advantage of what only he can do. And because of his innate ability to simply render himself near untouchable, he is listed as the highest ranking character in this tier list on the grounds that he is quite literally unfair to the roster. With that being said, this is also the reason it's not actually that impressive for a Hercule player to win a match. He has to play cheap by design, or else he'll be overwhelmed by pretty much every other character in the game, which is actually true to his character if you think about it. Not being able to vanish means he can't escape any combo in the game without wasting precious stamina on his evasives, and while his evasives can avoid damage, they don't last long enough to stop incoming damage that track movement or hit multiple times. A Hercule using Miracle Kneel might even have to use it more than once against a single beam or blast, which instantly puts him in danger. Super front and back jump are much more reliable at evading since they actually move him away, but unlike Miracle Kneel, they don't have the potential to interrupt an attacking opponent, meaning they can just follow where he jumps and bully him all over again. Against passive opponents or opponents who can zone, he struggles against them too, as he has no attack that can reach distant opponents, nor can he charge his Ki to at least try to have his skills ready the way his opponents can. The most damage he can deal in a combo is in combos that he is forced to end, since not even his Festival Present for You can extend a combo form unless attempted at the ground. Even then, his combo strings themselves aren't extension friendly either, because he doesn't move himself forward as he carries them on, making it harder than normal to keep a combo going even offline. On the other hand, however, Hercule only needs to land a single hit to force an opponent's hand the same way they can do against him, since between being able to cancel most of his combos and the instant startup of Festival Present for You, he can very easily gain a health advantage himself. Because he cancels by guarding and not by stepping, he can be extremely dangerous close-up as he can punish being punished by scoring a just guard even in the middle of his attacks, which makes contesting him head-on risky. His ability to perform therefore relies much heavier than normal on the player's own fundamentals, going from proper joke at lower levels to rule breaker at competent levels. And that's all we've got on HERCULE for you guys. Sorry it took us a while to get back to work. The delay is on me since I'm the one who was meant to kick the series off. Who goes on to host the rest of the videos depends on who wants or knows the character better, and nobody here actually plays HERCULE, so I took one for the team. We're going to run through every character in the game, so for those of you guys who also play on the Switch, I'm sorry to admit that almost every fight we have with anyone from this point on will probably be on business. I am not sorry, however, to admit that even if it seems like we don't, we very much pay attention to the people who come to interact even while we're working. So while it might bum you out that we don't hang around doing very much at first, hopefully we make up for it by having you spot yourselves in videos like these. Yo.
Nice work on that solo mission, Kwani. But we just got word of our next target. Unlike the mission you just returned from, this is going to require 2 of us rather than 1. The target has been codenamed.
It isn't over yet.